I tested over 30 Australian sunscreens so you don't have to. Hi everyone, yes, I'm officially back with another sunscreen roundup. If this is our first time meeting, I'm Razia, I'm a skincare nerd and dermal therapist in training, and I'm here to uncomplicate skincare for you. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, go ahead and subscribe, and you can also follow me over on Instagram and TikTok. Almost 5 years ago, I posted this video to my YouTube channel reviewing 20 Australian sunscreens, and to this day, it's been my most viewed video, and it still gets hundreds of views every single week 5 years later. So I thought, you know what, we are in desperate need of an update. So I've got 30 brand new reviews for you today. I have bought all of these myself. I've tested all of these myself. I'm gonna have footage trying on every single sunscreen so that you can see how it applies on me and how it looks on my skin. And my review for each one will include notes about the application, the texture, the finish, skin type suitability, and the price, as well as the scent and any added ingredients that the sunscreens might have. I'm not going to be reviewing these in any ranking order. Instead, I'm just going to categorize them by finish, and I will break the video up into chapters for you so it's easier for you to navigate as well. And of course, everything's going to be linked in the description below. Let's get started. I know I said I'm not going to be doing these in any ranking order. What I am going to do though is just talk about the worst ones first and just get them out of the way. So up first, we have clear sunscreens, and I've got 3 different ones here. I think clear sunscreens are terrible. First, we have the Quick Flick Quick Screen 3-in-1 Clear Smoothing Primer and Gel Serum. The issue I have with this one is the same issue I have with every other clear sunscreen that I've tried. They don't really ever dry down. They kind of just stay in this weird, viscous, gel-like state on the skin, and just speaking to the sensory experience, it's pretty much a nightmare for me. We're all different in that way though. You might not mind it. For me, it's a nightmare. So in that same vein, we have the new Natio Glow Prep and Prime Clear Gel SPF 50. They just came out with this glow range a few months ago, and this clear sunscreen was part of it, and it was a miss for me. And the other one I tried was from Everyday, and that one was also pretty awful. Aside from those 3 clear sunscreens that I don't get along with, another one I don't really like is also from Everyday, sorry Everyday, it's their Golden Glow Dream Screen. I think it's supposed to be like an illuminating skincare sunscreen hybrid kind of a product, and the product has this yellow golden tint to it that leaves my face looking yellow. It's just really unflattering. Forget about a white cast. This one gives me a yellow cast. So moving on, those are the worst ones that I only have negative things to say about, unfortunately. To keep this video even easier to navigate, I'm gonna have everything separated by finish, and then I also wanna separate them by textures. Let's start with the first category. So this bunch of sunscreens all have similar type of packaging and similar textures, in that in terms of their texture, they kind of resemble a moisturizer. First up is the Hamilton Everyday Face SPF 50+. This one is a true fan favorite. I'm pretty sure I did mention this one in my old video, but the only reason I'm bringing it up again is because it has been reformulated. Right on the bottle there it says new formula, so of course we had to retest it, and I'm pleased to report that this one still holds up. Everything we like about the old formula stays true to the new one. It still has that lotion-like texture. The product itself has a slight tint to it, but when you apply it and blend it on, it's completely sheer, and it still leaves behind that matte finish. There is added aloe vera and vitamin E in this one, so it does give your skin enough hydration, and it's incredibly well priced at $15 for a 75-gram tube. Next is from Priceline's own brand. It's their Face Sunscreen SPF 50+ Lightweight Moisturizing Lotion. This one is very affordable. It's only $9 for 75 ml. Similar to the Hamilton, there's added aloe vera and vitamin E. So this one has that lightweight lotion texture. Honestly feels very much like applying a moisturizer, and on the dry down, it leaves the skin with a natural finish. So it doesn't lean too far matte, but it doesn't really leave any glow or radiance on the skin either. Kind of like right in the middle. The next one is from Kmart. This is their OXX Skincare Face Moisturizer Sunscreen SPF 50+. Also very affordable. This one is $8 for 75 ml. When I tried this one, my very first thought was how much it reminded me of the Priceline Face Sunscreen that we just spoke about. And then I had a look and read the back, and I noticed that they have the exact same UV filters. Technically 2 different products from 2 different brands, 2 different registration numbers on the packaging. As for the actual product in the tube, it's very similar. So pretty much everything I said about the Priceline one applies here. And quick little tangent, if I may, what I noticed about these 2 sunscreens having the exact same UV filters, I have noticed with a lot of sunscreens. Simply because I have tried so many sunscreens, I started to notice that a lot of them resembled each other. And a lot of the times, whenever I would notice that one sunscreen resembled another, I would look at the back and they had the exact same UV filters, which, you know, obviously would contribute to why the sunscreens feel identical, even though they're from different products, different brands. So as we go on with the rest of the reviews, I'll let you know which ones have those same filters. There's no hidden agenda, there's no hidden meaning, there's nothing. I don't mean anything by it. It's just simply an observation that I've made that I'd like to share. yeah, I think it might be helpful. I don't know. Next, for our moisturizer-like sunscreens, I have the TBH Skin Shady Face Moisturizer SPF 50+. This one has more of like a lightly whipped moisturizer consistency rather than like a lightweight lotion like the others I've mentioned so far. Blends into the skin easily enough. It's a moisturizer texture, so it does offer that moisturizing and hydration to the skin, and the dry down leaves the skin with a natural finish. So not radiant, not glowy, but definitely not too mattifying. This one's priced at $40 for 100 mils, and it's available at Priceline, Kohl's, and Woolies as well, I believe. And the last one in this category is the Beauty Filter Featherlight Weightless Sunscreen SPF 50+. This has a lightweight, creamy kind of texture that just glides onto the skin. The formula does have a slight tint to it, but it blends down completely sheer on the face. And again, can very easily act as a sunscreen and moisturizer in one, and on the dry down, it leaves the skin with a natural finish. And this one's priced at $25 for 75 grams. And you can get this directly from the Beauty Filter website. And now for the next category of sunscreens. These ones still have a natural or matte finish, but now they're in a fluid texture. This category is really suitable for those that want a really light textured sunscreen, still need that natural or matte finish. First one is the Banana Boat Ultralight Face Fluid SPF 50+. This one does have added hydrating ingredients like hyaluronic acid and jojoba oil. On the dry down of this one, it leaves the skin with a soft matte finish. Comes in an airless pump packaging, which I really like for sunscreens actually, especially when they're in this kind of light fluid texture. And at full price, it's $20 for 50 mils. Next in this category is the Cancer Council Invisible Fluid SPF 50+. Right on the packaging, this one tells us it has a matte finish and it's been formulated for those with oily combination skin, and I think that's very accurate. Light texture, not heavy on the skin at all, not greasy, and it definitely does dry down to leave the skin with a matte finish. Even though this category, they are more lightweight fluids, they still offer some hydration to the skin, so you may find the hydration in this is more than enough for you. It just depends on your skin type. We've got that nice airless pump packaging again, and this one is priced at $20 for 50 mils. Next up is the Naked Sundays Cabana Clear Water Gel Serum SPF 50. This has less of a fluid-like texture and more of a weightless jelly-like texture. It almost immediately disappears onto the skin on application. It's almost completely weightless on the skin. It doesn't offer much in terms of hydration, and on the dry down, it gives you a soft matte finish. Definitely not one of the cheaper options though. This one is priced at $47 for 30 mil. Or you can also get a 50 mil tube for $62 from their website. And I think Naked Sundays is available at Mecca as well. Next fluid contender is from Bondi Sands. It's their Face SPF 50+ sunscreen fluid. Like texture, it's not overly thin though, so it does feel slightly hydrating and moisturizing on the skin, and it leaves behind like a natural, almost soft matte kind of a finish. Very sleek portable packaging with this one as well, and you've got this nozzle. So if you do like to keep a sunscreen in your bag maybe just for reapplying as you go about your day, I think this might be like a good option for that as well. This one's priced at $17 for 50 mil, and you can find it pretty much everywhere. Woolies, Kohl's, every chemist. Another fluid from Bondi Sands, but this one's from their skincare range, and this is the Sunny Days Face Fluid SPF 50. The texture of this one is a very thin, watery kind of a fluid. The other fluid sunscreens I've mentioned still have a little bit of a body to them. This one is much thinner in comparison. And it comes in this dropper style packaging, which I'm really not a fan of, especially for sunscreens. But it's not too bad considering how thin the actual sunscreen itself is. And this one's priced at $25 for 30 mils. Personally, I don't know why brands are launching sunscreens in 30 ml bottles, but there's like quite a few of them, surprisingly. Speaking of 30 ml sunscreens, the next fluid I have is the Gem Solar Screen Lightweight Face Sunscreen Fluid SPF 50+. Like, you could easily just fit that in your pocket. It's like the same size as a packet of Eclipse mints, but in terms of the fluid texture, it's not as thin as the Bondi Sands Sunny Days drops, for example. The formula does have a tint, but as you blend it onto the skin, it blends out completely sheer. There's added hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, and vitamin E, so it does offer some hydration to the skin, but on the dry down, it leaves the skin with more of a soft matte finish. And I think this is the final one in this category. It's the Ultraviolet Fave Fluid SPF 50+. This is the 30 ml travel sized mini, because I don't have the full size one on hand at the moment. I have completely finished up more than one bottle of that one before though. This is the most thin, watery, fluid sunscreen I've ever tried. Of all the sunscreens I've tried, and there's a lot of them, it's completely weightless. It takes no time at all to blend into the skin. It's fragrance free. This is one of those formulas that does contain alcohol. I think that's how they got it so thin. Personally, I don't mind at all though. It doesn't bother my skin in any way. In terms of hydration, because it's so thin, I don't think it really offers much to the skin in that way. When I first saw this one and how thin it was, I assumed it would be like a matte dry down, but no, actually once it dries down, it leaves the skin with more of a natural finish. finish. And the full size bottle is priced at $52 for 75 mils. Last fluid in this category is the Dermaveen Sensitive Sun Invisible Fluid SPF 50+. This one is quite thin. It feels slightly hydrating on the skin. The main difference between this one and the other fluid sunscreens I've mentioned is that this one has 4 hours water resistant. I think this is probably your best option if you're after a lightweight fluid sunscreen with water resistance. Priced at $33 for 50 mils. Okay, and that is all of the matte finish, natural finish sunscreens done. I think there might have been about 10 to 15 different sunscreens there. And now we can move on to the sunscreens that have more of a radiant finish. And again, I'll try to break it up by texture just to make it easier to navigate. To be honest, this first one is kind of a standalone. It doesn't really belong in any of the categories. This is the Go-To Nifty 50 SPF 50. That was fun. It's their hydrating daily sunscreen with antioxidants. And it looks like they were trying to go for like a primer sunscreen hybrid with this one, because they do mention specifically that it's supposed to work really well with makeup, and it comes in this pump packaging. The formula does have a tint, but blends out completely sheer on the skin. The texture is kind of like a whipped creamy kind of a texture. It leaves the skin feeling nice and hydrated and moisturized, and it leaves quite a soft radiant finish. It's priced at $49 for 50 mils, and you can find it at Mecca as well as their website, of course. All right, so next category is sunscreens that have a fluid texture with a radiant finish. Starting with another one from Go-To, this is their Nifty 50 Fluid SPF 50 ultra lightweight sunscreen with antioxidants. You can hear it in there. It's very, very watery. Because it is so thin, it feels really weightless on the skin. It blends in very easily as well, of course. Slightly hydrating feel there, and leaves behind a very soft, slight radiant finish. Nothing too crazy. I have to say that the packaging of this one is pretty terrible though, because it comes in this upside down kind of a bottle, as you can see. It's very, very watery, and when you are just holding it as it is upside down, it just drips. The product just drips out, and it's very, very messy and gets all over the place. The top of this bottle is rounded, so you can't even stand this upright. So I do hope they revisit the packaging of this one, because it's the one drawback. It's $35 for 50 mils. Next is from Quick Flick. This is their Quick Screen SPF 50 Plus 3-in-1. This is supposed to act as a primer, moisturizer, and blue light defense. I don't know much about that blue light defense. It's quite fluid. Again, if I give it a shake, you can hear it just moving around in there. And it comes in this upside down style bottle as well, except we have a pump, so it's not leaking everywhere. So it's easy to dispense. It's not too messy or annoying in that way. And this one's priced at $40 for 45 ml of product. Quick Flick's available at Kohl's, Priceline, their website as well, of course, and Adore Beauty, I think. Interestingly enough, these two share identical UV filters. Next fluid is the Natio Invisible Fluid Facial Sunscreen SPF 50+. I've actually finished a couple of bottles of this one myself, and this one does feel quite hydrating and moisturizing on the skin. There's added vitamin E and aloe in this one. It has 4 hours water resistance as well. And as for the dry down, this one leaves you with quite a radiant, glowy finish. It's priced at $20 for 60 ml. This next fluid is a newer launch actually. It's from Rock. This is their Soleil Protect Anti-Brown Spot Unifying Fluid SPF 50. This one is fragrance. It smells kind of floral. We've got a tube packaging, of course, with a thin nozzle, pretty lightweight fluid texture. I think there were 3 different sunscreens available from Rock, and each one had different added ingredients for different skin benefits. This one's got some added antioxidants in there to help with fading dark spots. It is a hydrating formula, and the dry down leaves a soft radiant finish behind. You can grab this one from Chemist Warehouse. It's priced at $30 for 50 ml. Final category for this sunscreen run down are sunscreens that have a hydrating radiant finish. In terms of texture, these ones lean less fluid and more serum. And first one in this category we've got from Gem. It's a Solar Screen Hydrating Face Sunscreen Serum SPF 50+. Cute glass bottle here with a pump. It is only 30 mils though. Similar to the other one from Gem, this also has added hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, and vitamin E. Main difference between the two is, of course, the texture. This one does have a thicker consistency compared to the other one, which was more fluid. It is a hydrating formula, and the finish of this one does leave you pretty radiant. I do think this sunscreen does have added fragrance. It's got like a coconut kind of a scent to it. Very summery. And same as the other one, it's priced at $30 for 30 ml. Next serum sunscreen is from Boost Lab. This is their Goody Sun Drops SPF 50+ serum. We've got a dropper bottle here. I'm really not a fan of dropper bottles, to be honest, especially when the texture of the product is not watery enough. It's quite annoying to get the product in the dropper and then to dispense it and then to go back into the bottle, get another one. And then as you go to put the dropper back into the bottle, it leaks all over the side. Clearly I'm not a fan of the packaging. As per all the other sunscreens in this category, I'm going to be repeating myself. Hydrating formula that leaves the skin with a soft, radiant finish. And this one's priced at $40 for 45 mils. With sunscreens that do leave a radiant finish, there's definitely a scale here. The Gem and the Nadio are pretty much just like straight up really radiant and pretty glowy. And when I describe the finish as more of a soft radiant, there's a little bit of a glow, but it's not like boom, you know, it's not that crazy. And that's why I've got the videos on the side so that you can see what I'm talking about. Next one is from Mecca Cosmetica. This is their To Save Face SPF 50 Plus Brightening Sun Serum. This one has an added 3% niacinamide. The texture is like a thicker fluid serum type SPF. Again, we have this dropper packaging, which this one especially is very finicky and annoying. Very messy, like there's product gathered all over here and it's like a push top to collect the product. I think the texture is too thick for a dropper. This one is scented. If you're familiar with the scent of the other Mecca Cosmetica sunscreen, it's pretty much the identical scent. It's like a florally powdery kind of a smell. It is a hydrating formula and the finish of this one is pretty radiant. And it's priced at $50 for 50 mils. And next I've got a couple from Cancer Council. This is the Hydration Boost Sunscreen Lotion SPF 50 Plus. You got this nice airless pump packaging here. As per the name, this one has added ingredients for hydration. So there's hyaluronic acid and squalane in this one. This one I would describe as a lightweight lotion texture. It leaves the skin feeling hydrated and leaves a soft radiant finish behind. And this is the Radiance Boost Sunscreen Lotion, also an SPF 50 Plus, and the added ingredients in here are 5% niacinamide and licorice root extract to help with improving skin tone. This one also has a lightweight lotion texture. It's hydrating and also leaves the skin with a radiant finish. I'd say this one leaves a slightly more radiant finish compared to this one. I have 6 sunscreens left to finish off this sunscreen rundown. Just a disclaimer, this isn't a cop-out. I'm not doing this because I've been talking about sunscreen for almost 3 hours now and my mouth is dry and it's almost 4 p.m. and the sun's about to set. I don't know why, I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this. But these final 6 sunscreens are the exact same. For transparency's sake, if I had to pick favorites out of all the sunscreens I've spoken about today, these are the ones that I would pick. It's like my ideal texture, my ideal finish, everything. They're serum-like, they glide onto the skin, they blend right in, they're all fragrance-free, they're all hydrating, and they leave the skin with what I think is like a perfect radiant finish. Personally, I have dry skin, so my skin produces no glow of its own, and that's why I like a sunscreen that is hydrating and can give me a little bit of that glow. And truthfully, these 6 are the ones that do it for me. So I want to go through each one, and of course I'll have the try on the side. This is the Dermaveen Ultra Light Day Lotion SPF 50 Plus. I have gone through numerous bottles of this stuff, so I'd say I'm like quite familiar with this product, with its texture, you know. Shortly after falling in love with the Dermaveen sunscreen, I tried out the Cancer Council Face Day Wear Serum. This is described as hydrating, dewy finish, SPF 50 Plus. Immediately my first thought when I tried it was how much it resembled the Dermaveen sunscreen, and I go and check the packaging and what do I find? Same UV filters. The thing with sunscreens is that the brands don't have to share the full ingredient list. They only have to share the active ingredients or the UV filters. That's it. So while these brands are probably getting their sunscreens formulated in the same labs, the same places, which makes a lot of sense because of how the process is of sunscreen manufacturing, but brands can add other things to the formula to kind of make it their own. Dermaveen's brand is all about oat, and I do believe they've added some oat extract into this one, whereas the Cancer Council one just has the added hyaluronic acid, aloe vera, and vitamin E, which is very standard with a lot of these sunscreens. You might have heard me mention that combo a few times already. This is a newer sunscreen release from Aven, and when I tried it, I was like, this bears a striking resemblance to some other sunscreens I've tried. This is their Sensitive Sunscreen Serum SPF 50 Plus. This one just comes in a 30ml dropper bottle. Previously, Aven had some other sunscreens available that were a chemical and mineral hybrid. I think the sunscreens had titanium dioxide in them. They did not work for me at all and they left me looking quite blued. And then last year they launched a couple new sunscreens. This is the only one from the new range that I have tried. I haven't tried the other one. Another sunscreen from Bondi Sands. This is the Hydra UV Protect SPF 50 Plus Face Gel. Another one on a personal note that I quite enjoy. You know, hey, what are the chances there? The next one is from Coco and Eve. It's their Daily Water Gel SPF 50 Plus. Final one of the bunch is from a brand called All Kinds. This is their Daily Screen SPF 50 Plus Face Sunscreen Serum. I'm not really familiar with this brand at all. I was out shopping one day, saw this very colorful store, and the window decal was all about their new sunscreen range. So I went inside to have a look and I picked this up. I recently tried it and I was like, hold on a second, this feels familiar. And well, what do you know? I don't know anything about this brand though. I think they're like a stationery brand, like they had water bottles and pencil cases and stuff. And then they had a skincare line and a sunscreen line. It's a nice sunscreen, lightweight, hydrating, nicely soft, radiant finish, yada yada yada. You know the spiel. And what do you know? Again, we've got some added hyaluronic acid, aloe vera, and vitamin E. Some other sunscreens that have the same filters just within this group. These three, Cancer Council Radiance Boost, Boost Lab Goody Drops, and the Mecca Cosmetica Serum, as well as the Bondi Sands Face Sunscreen Fluid and the Cancer Council Invisible Fluid, and the Gem Solar Screen Lightweight Face Sunscreen Fluid. I want to highlight though that having the same UV filters doesn't necessarily mean that the products are going to be exactly the same, because as I mentioned, brands will take that base sunscreen formula and then they can do whatever they want to it to make it their own, which a lot of these brands have done. Now, these 6 that I first mentioned, yes, are extremely similar to each other, whereas the same does not apply for these 6 sunscreens that I have here, even though they have the same filters. Something worth bearing in mind. Maybe you might observe something similar yourself. I don't know. I thought it was just quite interesting, and you know, why not mention it? We are talking about sunscreen after all. And I believe that concludes this sunscreen rundown. That was a lot. I do hope you enjoyed this one and found it useful if you are looking for a sunscreen. If you have any questions at all, please do let me know in the comments down below. Maybe there's another sunscreen that I didn't mention here. Maybe I've tried it and you want to know my thoughts on it. Whatever it is, let me know below. And of course, all of these are going to be linked if you're interested in shopping any of them. What else? The last rundown I did was really popular, so I hope this one is just as popular, if not more, just to make it worth the time that I spent applying every single one of these sunscreens. After wiping away sunscreen after sunscreen, my skin barrier is definitely going to need at least a week to recover. So anyway, please do subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed it, send it to your friends, you know the drill. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.